Major George Sawyer, personal log, January 20th, 1946. After speaking with Major Staver this morning, I can confirm Operation Stapler has been a resounding success. While our officers met with the Soviet representatives to negotiate the fair split of Group 935's research, our operatives quietly extracted 40 of its scientists and their families. In the coming days, they're to be officially hired as War Department special employees. To our knowledge, the Soviets have yet to realize what we've done. Since the discovery of the depository near Groom Lake in '37, our progress has been minimal. Our hope is that these scientists will provide us the edge we desperately need for our Element 115 research program. All of this would not have been possible without the help of one Dr. Edward Richtofen. When he reached out to us last August, he promised unfettered access to Group 935's research in exchange for providing safe harbor for its scientists. While we may not have secured all the research, we did get the scientists, the brain trust. If we do ever locate Dr. Richtofen, I would like to shake his hand and thank him personally for the great service he has provided to the United States of America.
Day 521. I still don't know how it is possible, but late last year, I awoke from a watery grave. When I swam to the surface, I found the German military base abandoned. Only the undead remained on their shores. I attempted to flee, but the fog, it seemed no sooner that the shore faded behind me, it reappeared in front of me. Every attempt I made to escape, it led me right back here. As if I was meant to be here. I have begun broadcasting a radio signal. I'm hoping that someone will answer and come to my rescue. But if no one comes, I'm not sure how much longer I will survive this place.
This is Dr. Schuster, personal log, June 27, 1947. With the help of Major Sawyer and Operation Stapler, I began employment at the Pentagon. I'm assigned to their 115 division, which focuses on R&D of the element. While I am grateful for this opportunity, I have my reservations. Element 115 is a resource with potentially infinite applications. Yet the only thing these scientists and the Pentagon seem concerned with are our undead experiments. I made it clear to them that my own work with Group 935 was primarily focused on its teleportation technologies. If they wanted my help with that, I would gladly oblige, but the idea of resuming undead experimentation horrified me. The room went silent. Clearly, they were not satisfied with my answer. Finally, Major Sawyer asked why. I was blunt, perhaps too blunt, and told them what happened at Griffin Station, about Maxis's daughter Samantha, about the MPD, about the undead outbreak, about everything. If we resumed experimentation, there was no guarantee she wouldn't take control of them just as she had done the others. More importantly, there was no guarantee she wouldn't kill us all, as her father instructed her. I told them all this, and do you know what happened? They laughed.
Day 3682, I think. Last night, I had a dream. A dream I have not had in many years. Like the ones I used to have at the Eisendrache. I dreamed I was in medieval times. During a great war, a war to end all wars. In this dream, I am attacked by one of the great beasts. It holds me within its grasp, about to end my life. When I am saved, spared by a man in cloth, not a priest, someone more powerful. He wields a staff of fire. I see 4 heroes stand atop of a mound. The 4 raise their staffs in unison, and suddenly the knights know the war is not lost. I rejoin the fight, and fight alongside my king. For years I had dreamed of this war. I wonder, perhaps the Germans' experiments warped my brain, my sense of space and time. He thought I died, but it was only that my mind had transformed. I have been here 10 years. No one has responded to my radio message. Is there no one out there? Am I even on Earth? Or am I caught somewhere in between? Every time I try to escape, my raft always brings me back. This place is my prison. But is it a prison? Perhaps it is more like a waiting room, a purgatory of sorts. Perhaps my dreams are much more. Perhaps they are visions of what is to come. And perhaps it is here I must wait for what is to come. They will come for me.
The heat and humidity is just excruciating. According to the locals, the temple should be in this mountain range just up this river. Gary, do you hear that? A waterfall. We must be close. Hand me the binoculars. There is a structure up ahead. If this is truly a gateway to Argatha, my work will finally be validated.
Brock, I don't think this place is abandoned.
Don't be silly. This place has to be thousands of years old. I have found some unfinished carvings around the structures I can't make out. They do not look like... Wait, what is this?
What the hell was that? Why is the sky dark?
It's an eclipse. We must have...
Run! What are those things?
Zombies. We have to find another way.
Zombies? What are you talking about?
The writings must have been right. No! Don't touch that! Damn! Take a look around and try to find a way out.
I got nothing.
We will have to conserve our supplies. Take your shoes off and hand me your socks. I have been trapped in the temple structure for days. Gary is dead, and I don't see a way out of here. I can still hear the zombies outside. I fear this is my last recording, as the battery is about to die, and I will soon follow. One thing I can be certain of is that glove...
We have verified authenticity of this transmission, yes?
Yes, Anton. A recon unit traveled to the old facility. Apparently, a survivor has been living there since the end of the war.
Since the end of the war? 13 years? How can this be true? And how did we not know about this?
Unfortunately, your guess is as good as mine.
And his proposal, this Gersh Device, what do you make of this?
Personally, it sounds too good to be true. But this isn't the first I've heard of it. Dr. Richtofen had mentioned it as well.
Just think, Harvey. A device capable of granting that which any man desires. I simply think it and bang. It is reality. We could beat Americans to Group 935 Lunar Facility. We could become leaders of free world overnight.
The potential, it is certainly infinite.
So, he says he will construct a device, but first he needs us to find something.
He says we must bring him the blood of an ancient creature. He gave us the coordinates. It's at the bottom of the ocean. Recovery will not be cheap.
Well, we do not need the creature, only its blood. Harvey, do not worry. The reward will pay cost tenfold. This is how the Ascension Group leads Gersh into New World.
I understand. And there was one more thing. He warned us to bring him the blood straight away. When exposed to the elements for extended amounts of time, it becomes volatile and unstable. He warned us the blood is alive.
Let us worry about collecting it first. We will decide the next move after this, Dr. Yena.
Of course, Dr. Gersh.
I trust your trip was a success.
Like you wouldn't believe, Anton, what we found down there. The creature was magnificent, gargantuan in size. It was otherworldly, a remnant of a different age. Oh, I wish you could have seen it.
It was at the coordinates provided.
Yes, 43 north, 180 east. The blood has a fluidity to it that I find fascinating. We would have investigated further, but we intercepted a transmission that the Americans were in the area. Somehow they'd been informed about the creature's location.
Ah, these damn leaks. They will be our undoing.
It seems every step we take, the Americans follow suit.
Mark my words. There is a mole in Ascension, Harvey. We must strike it out before it destroys us. Get a team together. People we trust. If we are to study the blood, we must make sure the Americans do not find out.
To study it? Anton, I think we should follow the plan and deliver the blood to the Siberian Facility.
Yet, Harvey. We cannot. This struggle with the Americans, we cannot let them get the advantage. This blood is our only leverage. After the war and Group 935 disbanded, you came to us. You came to me. You saw a better vision for the future here than what your America was offering. We created Ascension on the principle of being better men, of making this world a better place. If this blood is key to unlocking the future, we would be fools to not take this opportunity.
Perhaps you are right. At the very least, we can study it. What's the harm in that?
How are the experiments coming, Dr. Yena?
Fascinating, Anton. Truly fascinating. The blood, it's not so much fluid as it is very much alive. It moves, it changes shape at will, reacts to our touch.
Alive? How is this possible?
I'm not sure. One theory is perhaps the creature itself was more of a vessel, and that its blood is made up of 1,000,000 different organisms that control it, like a crew piloting a ship. The creature died, but the organisms inside survived, trapped at the bottom of the ocean.
Is it sentient? How is it able to move?
The blood uses negative space, which exists between the molecules. This negative space provides an influx of energy, which we believe fuels the blood, giving it the ability to move.
Do you still believe this blood is suitable for our primates? For rocket testing?
Absolutely. The blood gives them rejuvenation abilities, making them more powerful, stronger. If a monkey is on the brink of death and given an injection, it makes a full recovery in a matter of minutes. The Only trade-off is they become more angry, hostile, even violent in some cases.
Is this a problem?
It's manageable. But I'm confident monkeys given an injection of this blood will survive spaceflight.
Wonderful news. I think we can move on to the next phase of the program. We should prepare a serum for mass production. Can you tell me more about this negative space?
We really don't know much about it, except that it does not exist in this dimension. Maybe a gateway from another. One of our men has theorized it might even be a black hole of sorts.
Send what research you've done to myself and our weapons team. Be sure Yuri's voice key is included in the brief.
Of course, but I will remind you we need to be careful. We've noticed the blood has been changing composition, as if reacting to all our probing and prodding.
Reacting? How so?
I'm not sure how to explain it, but it feels like the blood's getting angry.
This is Groom Lake Station Chief Cornelius Pernell. Personal log, March 11th, 1961. After being unable to get McElroy or Gates to see the light, I hoped my meeting with McNamara would fare better, but I had no such luck. For years now, DoD have run experiments with their 115 division, but we're the ones with all the supply. I told McNamara we have the Fort Knox of Element 115 right next to our nuclear testing site. If we combined resources and work together instead of simply bartering resources, Groom Lake could receive the funding to properly mine the materials and expand experimentation. But no, McNamara was uninterested. Another Secretary of Defense, another bust for Project Broken Arrow. Personal log, February 23rd, 1963. With construction of the moon teleporter ongoing, a number of scientists from the Pentagon's 115 division have been stationed on site here at Groom Lake. Dr. Schuster, head of the operation, continues to be full of surprises. He's been telling me these stories about an evil little girl named Samantha, that she can control the undead. I asked Colonel Sawyer about it, and he told me to pay it no mind. Apparently everybody's been laughing off Schuster's stories for years now. But then, yesterday, Schuster says he has proof. He claims this Samantha is responsible for several outbreaks over the last 20 years. He rattles off a bunch of names, and one of them was the Rising Sun Facility. I lost a good man there, Peter McCain, and never got an explanation for it. I've decided to investigate this further.
I'm just a little confused, Dr. Schuster. You've already successfully established a teleporter link between the Pentagon and Groom Lake.
The Pentagon to Groom Lake is child's play, a distance of 3,890 kilometers. What we're talking about now is a distance of 380,000 kilometers.
But it can be done.
Of course, Colonel Sawyer, but I had 2 years to perfect the link to Groom Lake. The timetable you've given me to establish a link to the moon is far more aggressive.
Do I need to remind you what we're up against? Dr. Richtofen told us about Griffin Station back in '45. From what we've discovered, he told the Soviets the same thing. The Soviets achieved teleportation 2 years before we did. If they get to the moon first, they get to claim Griffin Station.
Yes, I know all about your adorable space race. But need I remind you that if this teleporter becomes operational, even a single mathematical error could lead to catastrophic results? Yes, it will take you to the moon. I have little worry over where it will take you. I worry about when.
What? Time travel? Give me a break.
Precisely. If the specifications are not exact, we could create temporal rifts with ripple effects that will undo the very fabric of space-time itself. Simply put, don't rush. Science moves at its own pace.
Just get it done, Doctor. You have 2 weeks before we begin testing.
Personal log, July 29, 1963. I've spent the last several months combing through archives and conducting extensive research. And I can't believe what I'm about to say, but this is real. This girl, creature, entity, this being possesses a very real and very dangerous power. Fortunately, as of now, her attacks have been contained. But if she were to choose to unleash fury, she could wipe us off the map. And not just the United States, she could destroy everyone. But there is an opportunity here. To combat this threat, the Pentagon's going to need to significantly increase their 115 operation. To support that, they'll need greater access to our gold mine at Groom Lake. Project Broken Arrow is the key to all of this. 2 birds, 1 stone. We'll combat a threat to national security, and I'll secure the funding for my program and its operations. I'm drafting a report on the incidents. I plan to present it to McNamara in the coming weeks. Log entry 97, August 3rd, 1963. The matter transference device has been realigned. Again, in order to accommodate additional temporal variables. This is test number 11, human subject 5, 1 Private Hastings. If the transference specs are correct, Private Hastings will arrive at Griffin Station on August 3rd, 1963. If he arrives at this date, a communication link will be successfully established, and we will have confirmed that the teleporter's temporal anomalies have been compensated for. Are you ready, Private Hastings?
Yes, sir.
I can't understand a word of what he's saying in that ridiculous spacesuit. A simple thumbs up will suffice, Private Hastings. Good. Initiate the transference matrix. Element of truth. Dr. Richards, did it work? Do we have a stable connection?
No, sir. Nothing. We've lost him.
That's the 5th man we've lost. This base is rapidly running out of privates. Oh, I suppose they're all just dancing around on the moon somewhere in the far future, having a grand old time.
Washington's words have lingered with me these last few days. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. Mankind has always prepared for war because we face an enemy we know intimately, our fellow man. In a way, we are the only enemy we have ever truly known. But now, I sit here with the Groom Lake report in my hand, and I contemplate an enemy beyond our comprehension. An entity with the powers of a god that can manipulate time, space, and the very nature of other beings. The evidence is clear. A trail of carnage can be tracked October 21st, 1945, the Rising Sun Research Facility. October 28th, 1945, Group 935's Dereza Facility. April 25th, 1956, the Himalayas. Now, I am no stranger to undead experimentation, nor their outbreaks. I've read Pernell's reports on the airfield and asylum incidents. The undead may be a concern, but they are not the threat. Without a leader, they are mindless and uncoordinated. But the idea of a being that commands an undead army with seemingly unlimited resources, that gives them marching orders to strike at any time and any place, how do you prepare for war with that? How do you protect America? How do you protect the planet? One of the scientists we acquired from Group 935, Dr. Schuster, I believe is his name, claims to be familiar with the entity. He says her name is Samantha. This Samantha may be the greatest threat our nation has ever faced. Certainly more than that from the Soviet Union or Cuba, for they are just men.
Personal log, September 3rd, 1963. The discussion with McNamara was a resounding success. And his plans for it are bigger than I ever thought possible. The fools. It was so easy. All those hawks over there think about is war. I offered them a morsel, a nugget, and had the meeting out of the palm of my hand. Yeah, well, good riddance. They'll get their war, and I'll get my riches. They want to destroy this Samantha? It's so narrow-minded. Why destroy her when we can take her power and harness it for ourselves? With the amount of element 115 buried down there, just imagine what we could do. We could mold the earth anew, create it in our image. A toast. Here's to Dr. Schuster for gifting me this opportunity. When we get the excavator up and running at the test site, I'll be sure to get him access. And here's to Broken Arrow. And to opening new worlds. You have made progress, Dr. Layman.
Yes? Yes. As you know, our success with the undead experimentation has been limited.
Yes, we've achieved the same benchmarks as Maxis, but as with his trials, they refuse to obey orders.
That's right. We can't control them. We can't make them docile. But I believe I've cracked it.
I'm listening.
Okay, last month, our man inside the Ascension Group sent us copies of Dr. Richtofen's diary. I've been poring over it, following his research, and...
That doesn't seem very docile to me.
Just watch. Stand back, Dr. Schuster. I promise you, it's quite safe. Walk.
Incredible. It's completely subservient. How did you achieve this?
Well, I vaporized element 115, brought it to a gaseous state. The specimen inhaled it.
Inhaled it?
And unfortunately, it had to be done while the specimen was still alive.
While they were still alive? Good heavens, man, did you...
The soldier was going to die anyway. Doctor? Are you all right?
Oh, my apologies, Layman. I'm distracted by the eyes. They're yellow.
10 out of 10 trials. Docile and obeying commands. And it's activated with living subjects.
That's correct, Colonel. Completely subservient.
And you've achieved all this with a chemical gas?
That is correct, Colonel. Dr. Layman has successfully transformed element 115 into a chemical weapon.
Do you know what this means, Dr. Layman? What the potential of this gas could be?
Yes, but more importantly, we've gotten these creatures to obey our commands. As Richtofen and Maxis would have wanted.
Oh, to hell with them! this gas. If you released it over Moscow, you could end this Cold War tomorrow. Dr. Schuster, when can we bring this to full production?
With some additional testing, 6 weeks.
That's perfect.
Hold on a damn minute, okay? That's not what this is all about. A chemical weapon is nothing. We're talking about building an undead army here. How do you not all get that? It's what I'm supposed to do. It's what I've been ordered to do.
What's gotten into you, Dr. Layman?
What's gotten into me? We're not following her orders. She told me to do this. It's what we have to do, not waste our time with this bullshit.
Excuse me, Doctor. Do we have a problem?
No, Colonel, no problem. We'll get it done.
Be sure you do.
What the devil has gotten into you?
I'm sorry. Look, I'm not sure what happened. Okay, it's that damned diary. Ever since I started reading it, I'm hearing things like a voice in my head.
Pull yourself together. This is a major breakthrough. Be proud of your work.
Don't worry. I still hear you. They are fools. It will be done. They do not understand, right? They don't see what you are trying to accomplish. But I will show them. They want it weaponized? I will show them what weaponized does. Soon, they will know.
Dr. Layman, I was told you might be down here. Dr. Layman, what are you doing?
I am doing what I have to do. You all must understand.
That is the facility's air filtration system. If you release the gas,
then you will all learn a hard lesson in how disobeying her wishes has consequences.
Damn it! Where are the gas masks?
What have you done? I'm sorry. I have to get her out of my head. Goodbye, Dr. Schuster. Wait!
Is this your doing, Samantha? Are you there?
Entry 7410, Richtofen! Perhaps this station will hold the key to the real goals of Group 935. I still do not trust my unconventional allies, but they are of great use to me. But I digress. Who would have thought the MDT was capable of time travel? How many stations does this group have? Where did that little girl disappear to? Only time will tell what new questions await us in this theater of the damned.
Where are we?
It's kick-ass time. Let's do it. This ought to be a good time. It just blew them all over the place. Wow.